Do we want more kids? So when will we have our third baby? This is literally the hardest question that lives rent-free almost every single day in my mind. Do we want another kid or are we done? If you would have asked me this like a couple months ago, it would have been a hard, we are done. I am not having any more. Asking me today, and I'm like now kind of open to the idea. Getting to like a really fun age. She's almost 14 months and she's just in this really fun stage where it's like kind of making me a little bit baby hungry again. Then at the same time, I start to think about being pregnant again, postpartum, giving birth, all of the complications. And it, to be honest, it kind of scares me. I mean, I know it would be a huge blessing to have a third baby, but also like thinking about going through all of that again scares me. Just speaking about my personal experience, so before I dive into this, I would rate postpartum being the hardest on me and pregnancy being the second hardest. And then I actually think that giving birth for me personally, again, the best part, and it's almost seems like a little bit magical. It's just so crazy, and you're on this like endorphin high afterwards. There's just like so many just like magical moments. I don't know how else to describe it. Like obviously you're in a lot of pain. Obviously there's like high stress. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of complications that could happen. It comes down to that I had pretty good overall I had pretty good birth experiences. When I had Millie, I had her in like less than 3 hours. Here a hot minute, then you heard my birth story after I had Millie, and literally I went into the hospital and had her like shortly after. I had her within like 5 minutes of actually getting into my delivery room. It was like kind of a wild story, and I was fully planning on having a epidural, but obviously things happened so fast. I did not get an epidural, and it was crazy wild, and I'm actually kind of glad it worked out that way. And at the same time, when I see Leela and Millie playing together, they're getting along, they're like literally little best friends in the making. It is just so fun to see that, and it makes me want to have another one. I also think it'd be fun to maybe have a boy. Again, I love being a girl mom, so like if we had another girl, I would be like totally thrilled. Share a little bit of TMI. I'm actually not on birth control. I have never once been on birth control since Joey and I got married. I just track everything on my own. We've also kind of taken the approach of like, if I get pregnant, then I get pregnant. But for the most part, actually entirely, we have been able to track it down to a T, and I've like known when I got pregnant. Being said, I've kind of gotten a lot of confidence in myself on being able to track on like when we're getting pregnant. We really haven't had any real like scares. You scare like we would totally be like, okay, that's God's sign that we need another kid if I got pregnant unexpected. Long story short is to say that I am kind of starting to think that I might be ready, and I think that it's the stage that Millie's in. She's in such a fun stage, and I feel like once they hit that like 14-month, 15-month, 16-month mark, and they're like getting their personality and they're starting to be like a little bit more quote unquote independent, it's kind of like, okay, maybe I could do this again. I forgot how terrible postpartum was, and you just forget how dark postpartum is and how miserable being